Hey guys, welcome back. This is my original project. In the previous video, we completed till these buttons. Now let's see how we can create this keyboard over here and add functionality to it. So whenever I will press any key, that particular key will be highlighted like this. So first of all, I will be creating a keyboard frame, and inside that keyboard frame, I will create separate frames for the first row, similarly for the second row, and so on. And inside those separate frames we will be adding these keys. Now let's create a keyboard frame underscore frame, and I'll be using a frame class to create this frame. Now this frame will be in my main frame, and now let's grid this keyboard frame dot grid method. If you see, last thing that we added on our main frame was this buttons frame, and this was at row 4 column 0. Now after this buttons frame I want to add this keyboard frame, so this has to be at row number 5 and column 0. Now to add keys from 1 to 0, the first row, I will be creating a frame, and inside that frame I will be adding these keys. So let's create frame 1 to 0, and I'll be using frame class, and this frame will be inside this keyboard frame. Okay, so we have this keyboard frame, and inside that keyboard frame I am creating this frame 1 to 0, and on this frame I will be adding keys from 1 to 0. Now let's grid it. Frame 1 to 0 dot grid method. Now this frame 1 to 0 is the first thing getting added inside this keyboard frame, so row will be 0 and column will also be 0. Now inside this frame 1 to 0, I will be adding all the keys from 1 to 0 in the form of a label. So let's create a label 1, and I'll be using a label class to create this label. This label will be inside this frame 1 to 0. Text will be 1. Now let's grid this label dot grid method. This will be at row 0 column 0. If I run, you can see this 1 is inside frame 1 to 0, and that frame 1 to 0 is inside keyboard frame. Now this 1 is added on a label, so let's provide a background color to this label and the text color. So I'll add BG equals to black, and FG, the text color, will be white. Let's see. Now let's provide some font to this text on this label. So here font equals to, it has to be a tuple, and the styling is Arial, size is 10, and it will be bold. After that I will provide some width equals to 5 and height equals to 2. Let's see. So this is how our label looks like. Now let's provide some border and styling to it. So I'll give border of 10, and relief keyword argument for the styling will be groove. Let's see. You can see our label 1 is ready. In the same way we will be creating label 2 next to this label 1, and it will be same like this label 1 only. So I will be simply copying this. So see how I am going to copy this. So at the end here, just place your cursor and press Ctrl D. Okay, and then just change the object variable name from 1 to 2, then to 3, then 4, 5, 6, and so on. In the same way we have to grid all these labels, otherwise you will not be able to see any of them except for this label 1 which we already gridded. So let's copy this line, Ctrl D for copying the same line, and let's change the variable names. It will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, label 8, label 9, and then label 0. After that let's change the text of these labels. So this one will be text 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this one will be 0. In the same way the row numbers will be same because it has to be in the same line, only the column values will change. So this is already 0, this one will be 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Let's see. Now let's add paddocks to these labels. So you can place multiple cursors with the help of Alt key and comma paddocks equals to 5. Let's see. You can see our first row is created. In the same way we will be creating our second row. So firstly a frame Q to P, and after that we will be adding the keys inside that frame in the form of a label. So creating a frame Q to P, frame Q to P, and we'll be using a frame class to create this frame, and this frame will be in my keyboard frame. After that let's grid this q2p.grid method. This frame q2p is the second frame getting added inside this keyboard frame, so row will be 1 and the column will be 0, column 0, as we already added this frame 1 to 0 at row 0, column 0. Now let's add labels from Q to P inside this frame Q to P. So firstly label Q, and I'll be using a label class. This label will be inside this frame Q to P. Text will be Q. After that all other things will be similar to these labels that we already created here. So I'm going to copy these keyword arguments till here and I will paste it here. Now let's grid this label q.grid method, and this will be at row 0, column 0, because this label q is the first label getting added inside this frame q to p. So it has to be at row 0, column 0. Let's see. We got a q label here. In the same way we have to create w label just after this q label, and then e label, and so on. Let me drag this window so that you can see this complete line properly. And let's copy this again with the help of Ctrl D. And now let's change these object variables. This one will be W, then E, R, T, Y, U, I, O, and then P. And remove the extra ones. Just like we graded this label Q, we have to grid all these labels. So I'll copy this line with the help of Ctrl D, and now I'll change these variable names: W, E, R, T, Y, U, I, O, and P. After that let's change the text of labels. Here this one will be W, then E, R, T, Y, U, I, O, P. We also need to change these column values. Row will be 0 only because all these labels has to be in the same row. Only the column values will change. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. Again, I will be providing a little spacing between these labels. So let's provide paddocks of 5 pixels. Place multiple cursors with the help of Alt key and mouse left button. After that paddocks equals to 5. Let's see. Here you can see our second row is also created. Let's provide some vertical padding between these two frames. So here inside this frame Q to P, I'll add pad Y equals to 3, and in the same way this frame 1 to 0, pad Y equals to 3. Let's see. So you can see we got little vertical spacing. In the same way we have to create another row of keys from A to L. So I'll be creating a frame A to L, and this frame will be created with the help of frame class, and this frame class will be inside this keyboard frame. And let's create this frame A to L dot grid method. So earlier I added this frame Q to P inside this keyboard frame at row 1 column 0. This time it will be row 2 column 0. And let's provide some vertical padding of 3 also. Now let's create labels from A to L. So I will simply copy as all these labels will be similar. So I'm going to copy this last label, Control C, and let's paste it here. Now the object variable will be changed to A, the text will be changed to A. This frame Q to P will be changed to frame A to L. Everything else will remain same. Now I hope you guys have understood how I am creating all these labels. So I will be creating them quickly. You can see I have created all these labels with the text from A to L and then I have graded them. In the same row, only the column values are changed here. Everything else is same like the previous labels we created. See, this is how it looks like. In the same way, we have to create another frame and we will be adding keys from Z to M. So let's create a frame here, Z to M. And this frame will be inside my keyboard frame. And now let's grid this frame, dot grid method. This one will be at row 3, column will be 0. I hope you understood why row 3. Now let's add labels inside this frame. So I'll copy this last label from here and I will paste it here. This one will be label Z. The text will be changed to Z. This frame A to L will be changed to frame Z to M. Everything else will remain same. Again, I'll quickly create all the labels here. You can see I have created all the labels and I have graded them. You also have to do the same thing. And now let's see. You can see our fourth row is created. Let's provide a little padding to this frame Z to M. So here inside this grid method, pad y equals to 3. Now it's fine. Lastly, we have to create a keyboard frame and inside that keyboard frame we will be adding keyboard label. So let's create a space frame and this frame will be inside my keyboard frame again, and let's grid this space frame dot grid method. This frame will be at row number 4, column will be 0. And now let's create a space label. So I'll simply copy the previous label from here and I will paste it here. I'll change the object variable name, label space. I'll remove the text. I don't want to provide any text. Everything else will remain same. Only the width will change from 5 to 40. We also need to change this frame. This one will be space frame. Now let's grid this label space dot grid method and this label will be at row 0, column 0. After that, let's provide pad y to this frame as usual and let's run. You can see we are done with the space bar label also. So our graphical user interface is ready and now we are left with the functionality part. Now in my original project, I have binded my keyboard keys with these labels. So whenever I press any key, that particular key will be highlighted like this. For that, I have to create a list of all the labels that we have created till now. Okay, so first of all, let's create a list of labels from 1 to 0. Here I have added all the labels object variables that we created earlier. In the same way, I will paste alphabet labels list. So it has all the labels of alphabets that we created earlier. All these labels, if you see, I have added all of them inside this list. In the same way, we are left with this space label. So I'll again create a list. So I have created a space label list and inside that I have added this label space object variable. Since I want to bind my keyboard keys, So I will create a list here where I will be adding all the keys that I want to bind. So firstly, I will start with the numbers. So I want to bind all numbers from 1 to 0. So I'll create a list of numbers from 1 to 0 like this. So here I have created a list of binding numbers where I have added all the numbers that I want to bind. In the same way, we want to bind alphabets with those labels. So I will again create a list. So here I have created these two lists, binding capital alphabets and binding small alphabets, because I want to bind all these alphabets with our labels that we created. Now we have to bind these alphabets and numbers with these labels. So first of all, let's bind these numbers. So I'm going to use a loop here for numbers in range. Inside this range function, we have to pass a number, how many times this for loop will be executed. So here we have total 10 digits. So I'll pass length of this list, length of binding numbers. So this for loop will be executed 10 times. When the first time this loop will run, this numbers variable will hold 0 value. Then next time it will hold 1 value, and so on up till 9. Now one by one, let's bind all these numbers with these labels over here. For binding numbers with the labels, we have a method root.bind. Inside this bind method, we have to mention which key you want to bind with what function. So whenever you will press that key, that particular function will be executed. Since we want to bind all these number keys, so I'll use this binding numbers list variable, and in square brackets I'll pass this numbers variable. This loop will be executed 10 times, and one by one all these numbers over here will be binded with a function that we are going to write now. So I'm going to define that function with the help of lambda keyword. After this lambda keyword, we have to mention the argument. So one argument is this event and another one is label. And to this label argument, I'll pass a value. So here we will pass those labels which we have to bind with these numbers. So I have to pass these labels, and I can access this list with the help of this variable label numbers. So here I'll pass label numbers, and in a square bracket I'll mention this numbers variable. So when the loop will run for the first time, this will represent one key and this will represent label 1. So what I want, whenever I press this one key, this label 1 color should be changed. So after providing arguments, you have to use colon, and after that we have to write expression. So here the expression is a function that I'm going to call here, change bg, and I'm going to pass this label as an argument here. So I have to define this change bg function. So here I'll define this function, def change bg, and since we are passing a value to this function in the form of a label, we'll have to receive it in some other variable. So I'm going to create a variable here. This will receive that label. When the loop will run for the first time, inside this change bg function, this first label, label 1, will be passed. So inside this widget variable, we will have this label 1. And now I want to change its color. So I'll write widget dot config method, which helps you to update the color. And here we'll pass bg equals to blue. If I press any number key from my keyboard, the color of the label corresponding to that key will be changed to blue. So if I press 5, you can see the color is changed to blue. If I press 8, the color is changed to blue. But I want to change the color for very few seconds to blue, and after that back to black. So I'm going to use after method here, widget dot after. Here I have to pass after how many milliseconds I want to change the color back to black. So I'll pass here 1000. 1000 milliseconds means 1 second. I'll use lambda keyword here, and I'm not going to use any arguments, only the expression will be there. So I'll use colon, and then the expression will be widget dot config method, and here I'll simply pass background equals to black. So after 1000 millisecond means after 1 second, the color of the widget means the color of that label will be changed to black. Let's see. If I press 1, you can see after 1 second the color is back to black. If I press 4, after 1 second the color is changed to black. I hope you understood this. Similarly, I have to bind these small alphabets and capital alphabets with all these labels here. So again, I'm going to use a loop here to bind all these alphabets. For capital underscore alphabets in range, and this time this loop will run 26 times because this list has 26 elements in total. So I'll pass simply the length of this list, binding capital alphabets like this. So again I'm going to use bind method, root.bind. Inside this bind method I have to mention this list variable binding capital alphabets, and in square brackets I'll mention this variable capital alphabets, this one. When the loop will run for the first time, this capital alphabets will have 0 value. So binding capital alphabets 0 represents this A. So this A will be binded with a function. So when I'll press this A, I'll call the same function. So I'll simply copy this from here and I'll be pasting it here. Here I'll change this label numbers to this label alphabets. So I'll remove this and I'll write label alphabets. And inside this square bracket I have to pass this capital alphabet variable, this one. Now let's see. So whenever you will press any capital key, that particular label color will be changed to blue, and after 1 second the color will be changed back to black. And if you press any lowercase alphabet, nothing is happening right now because I have not binded lowercase alphabets. Let's see. So for binding lowercase alphabets, I'm going to copy these 2 lines from here and I'll paste it here. Now this capital alphabets variable will be changed to small alphabets. In this range function, if you want, you can change this binding capital alphabets to binding small alphabets variable, but it will not have any effect because here also you have 26 elements and this loop will still run 26 times. So for simplicity, let's change it to binding small alphabets, and this binding capital alphabets variable will change to binding small alphabets, and here this variable will be passed instead of this capital alphabet, so I'll change it to small alphabets, and here instead of this capital alphabets this one will be small alphabets, this variable, and everything else will remain same. Let's see. So if I press lowercase alphabets, you can see the color is changing to blue and after 1 second it is changing to black, right? Right now if I press the spacebar key, nothing is happening because I have not binded it. So let's bind the spacebar also. To bind the spacebar key, we don't have to use any loop, so I'm directly going to bind it, root.bind method. Inside this bind method, we have to represent the spacebar key. So this is how the spacebar key is represented. So whenever you will press the spacebar key, the same function will be called. So I'll use the lambda keyword again and I'll pass event argument which stores which key is pressed, in this case spacebar key, and after that colon and then the function name change bg, and here I'll simply pass space label index 0 because at index 0 if you see we have this label space. Okay, so whenever you will press spacebar key, that label space color will be changed to blue first of all, and after 1000 milliseconds the color will be changed back to black. Let's see. So if I press the spacebar key, you can see the color is changing. In my original project, instead of 1000 milliseconds, I have passed 100 milliseconds. Let's see how it looks. Now you can see after 100 milliseconds or 0.1 seconds, the color is changing back to black. In the next video, we will see the functionality of these 3 buttons: start, reset and exit button. If you have any queries, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching.